You've been waiting 3 weeks now, 3 weeks of nothing. You've reread every conversation, analyzed every detail, convinced yourself maybe you said too much, maybe you came on too strong, maybe you were too available, and now you've settled into this quiet resignation. You tell yourself it's over. You tell yourself she's moved on. You tell yourself you blew it. Should I just accept it? Maybe I was never that important to her. Why do I still think about her? Is it weird if I text her one more time? Here's what nobody has ever told you. She's not gone because you failed. She's gone because you never gave her a reason to stay without you chasing her. You're not delusional. Your attachment isn't broken. You just played the game wrong and nobody ever showed you the right way. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly when and why an avoidant comes back, and more importantly, who you need to become to make it inevitable. Let's get into it. Mindset reframe. Most guys believe that an avoidant person is gone for good once they disconnect. They think her silence means she's decided. They think her distance means she's moved on. But the real truth is, avoidant people don't disappear because they stopped feeling something. They disappear because they felt too much and couldn't regulate it. Here's what that means for you. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because your energy made her feel like she was losing herself. Not because you were too invested, but because somewhere along the way, your investment started feeling like pressure. She doesn't fall for the guy who proves he's interested. She falls for the man who shows her he's okay without needing her to confirm it. And here's where it gets interesting. The very thing that makes an avoidant person pull away is the same thing that makes them come back. Not strategy, not timing, not a perfectly crafted text, but the energy you carry when you're no longer trying to get her back. When she senses that you're genuinely at peace without her. When she feels that your silence has real weight and not just performative patience, that's when her nervous system stops bracing for engulfment, and in that moment of safety, that's when her curiosity takes over. That's when attraction actually begins. Main body, 7 points. 1. The attachment cycles. Most guys think that when an avoidant pulls away, it's a reflection of you. They replay everything, wondering what they did wrong, how they could have played it differently. And here's why that thinking keeps you stuck. Her pattern has nothing to do with you. This is her nervous system's default. She pulls away from everyone. It's not personal. It's her wiring. The deeper psychological truth is this. Avoidant attachment develops in childhood. It's a coping mechanism, a way of protecting herself from the pain of relying on someone who wasn't reliable. And that survival strategy doesn't just disappear when she meets a great guy. So here's the shift. Stop making her pattern about you. Stop interpreting her distance as a verdict on your worth. You didn't fail her. You just triggered her system. And here's what changes everything. When you understand that this is her pattern, not her decision, you stop taking her silence personally. You stop chasing. You stop spiraling. You start holding space for the process without making it about your failure. That's not patience, that's perspective, and she feels the difference. 2. The regret progression. Here's the part nobody talks about. Avoidant people don't stop feeling things. They suppress things. And suppressed feelings don't disappear. They go underground. And they grow. Most guys assume that silence means she's fine, that 3 weeks of nothing means she's moved on. But here's what you need to understand. She's probably not fine. She's probably just good at compartmentalizing. The psychological insight is this. Her brain is designed to minimize cognitive dissonance. She told herself leaving was the right call, but if you were genuinely great, her brain has to reconcile that with walking away. And that internal conflict creates something unexpected, not regret right away, but friction, unease, a slow burn wondering. Here's what she starts thinking. Why did I pull away so fast? Was it really about him or about me? What if he was actually different? She starts replaying conversations thinking, why do I keep thinking about that guy? 3. The replacement reality. Here's the one most guys completely miss. An avoidant person doesn't actually want to be replaced. They act like they don't need connection. They perform independence. But underneath all of that, they want what everyone wants: connection, safety, someone who gets them. Most guys think she pulled away because she found someone better, and they spiral into jealousy and desperation. But the real truth is, most avoidant people don't replace. They isolate. They pull back from everyone. They tell themselves they're fine alone until they're not. The deeper behavioral truth is this: when you go silent and she sees you genuinely thriving, there's no one to replace you with. She's alone with her thoughts, and her thoughts start working against her. She starts wondering, is he with someone? Why does he seem so unbothered? Why did I let go of someone who seemed to have it together? Not loud jealousy, just quiet, gnawing curiosity. And that curiosity starts pulling her back toward you in ways she won't even admit to herself. 4. The identity shift. This is where it gets interesting. The avoidant doesn't come back to the guy who chased her. She comes back to the man who changed without her. Most guys spend their silence either desperate or fake. They're either checking social media every 5 minutes or performing detachment like it's a script they memorized. The psychological insight is this: she doesn't respond to what you say during silence. She responds to who you become during it. Not loud confidence, not fake confidence, not "I'm totally fine, bro" confidence, but quiet, grounded, "I'm building my life" confidence. Here's the shift. During the silence, you don't just wait. You transform. You hit the gym. You pursue your goals. You build a life so full that her absence is just background noise, not to make her jealous, but because you're actually becoming someone worth coming back to. And here's what happens. She hears about it, or she sees it, and her brain goes, he's not the same guy I left. He's actually leveling up. And that shift, that's what makes her start considering coming back. 5. The return window. Here's where most guys blow it. They get so scared of losing her that they can't hold the silence long enough. They crack at week 2. They send that desperate text. They undo everything. But here's the thing. There's actually a psychological window. A moment where her suppressed feelings start surfacing and her defenses start lowering. And that window? It happens around weeks 4 to 8. The deeper truth is this: your silence needs to be long enough for her to miss you. Not performatively long, genuinely long. Long enough that her brain has time to stop protecting itself and start actually feeling. Here's the wrong approach versus the right approach. Wrong. Hey, just checking in, haven't heard from you in a while. Right. You go silent. You build your life. You don't contact her for weeks. And when she eventually reaches out, you respond like nothing happened. Calm, unbothered, leading. But here's what changes everything. She has to feel like you moved on. Not angry, not bitter, but genuinely indifferent to whether she comes back or not. That's when her brain says, oh wait, he might actually be done. 6. The authentic curiosity. Here's what you need to understand. She doesn't come back to tactics. She comes back to energy. Most guys try to play it cool in a way that feels manufactured. They wait 3 days to text. They craft their response to seem unbothered. They perform detachment instead of actually having it. And here's why that never works. She can sense it. Her gut is scanning for authenticity. And when your not caring feels like a strategy instead of a state of being, her defenses stay up. The psychological insight is this: what actually makes her come back is when she feels your genuine disinterest. Not because you acted unbothered, but because you actually are. So here's your rule. Your silence isn't a weapon. It's an expression of your actual priorities. You have a life. You're building something. And she's not the center of it. Not because you're trying to make her want you, but because you actually have other things that matter. And here's the thing. That authentic energy, that's what creates real attraction. Not strategy, not tactics. Real, grounded, unshakable energy. That's what makes her brain start thinking about you when she's doing something completely unrelated. 7. The complete package. Let me tie this all together. Most guys think she's coming back because of timing, because they waited the right amount of days, because they played it cool enough. But the real truth is, she's coming back because of who you became while she was gone. Not your silence, not your patience, not your clever text game, but your actual identity shift. You became the kind of man who doesn't need her to validate you, who has a life full of purpose, who carries himself with genuine groundedness, who doesn't perform confidence, who has it. That's why she comes back, not to get back together with the guy she left, but because she heard he's different now, and she's curious. And here's what she starts thinking. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe he actually is different. Maybe I want to find out. That's the shift that turns absence into magnetism. Close. So here's your identity level truth. This isn't about waiting for her to come back. It's about becoming someone worth coming back to. Stop making her silence about your failure. Start making your silence about your growth. Build a life so compelling that her return becomes a question she's asking herself, not a decision you're chasing. When you internalize this, you stop performing and start being. And that's when everything shifts. You're not hoping she comes back. You're becoming the kind of man who makes that decision easy for her without ever having to ask for it. And the man who knows his own value, he never has to chase what he already knows he deserves. If this hit different, you know what to do.